thank you so much for joining me on this video. Today I'm on the Welsh coast on the Isle of Anglesey and I'm going in search of nesting seabirds today. Also there's a fantastic sea arch which I'm going to get some pictures of, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we may see some seals as well. So let's head on down the trail. We end up going through a series of fields down to the coastline. We'll see what we can find. So I've just got to the coast now, down that short footpath. The actual seabirds, nesting seabirds, I believe, are that way across the cliffs, and the arch is that way. So what I'm going to do is go for the nesting seabirds first to see if they're feeding, see what stage. They should be on the verge of fledging now at kind of midsummer, so hopefully there'll be some there. And then we'll go to the sea arch, because let's face it, that's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to go over to the seabirds first and we'll see what we can capture. And just behind me on the path leading up to the nesting seabirds are what they call the violet rocks. They're kind of a red colour. Hopefully you can see those okay. There's like a rock layer that runs through the rocks here. Absolutely, it kind of stands out because it's so different than the normal kind of greys and sandstones of colours of rocks that we normally see and witness. So I'm going to capture a couple of really quick images here. So the composition I've picked for the violet rocks, if you can see, this is lots of heather in the foreground, which really kind of complements the violets, the purple. So we've got the purple heather and then the violet rocks in the background. What I'm going to do though, I will image blend two images. One focused on the foreground, one focused on the rocks, so that we've got a nice sharp image all the way through. So I'm going to capture a couple of images here. And as you can see in these two images, the first one in horizontal landscape mode really brings out the details, but what I really like is this second one, the one in portrait mode. It really gives you a sense of depth between the heather and then the rocks in the background. Okay, let's head on over to the nesting birds on the cliff faces without further ado. As we make our way to the first nesting site, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Your support for the channel is massively appreciated, and the channel is going from strength to strength, and I've got so many plans as we go forward. And I've just arrived on the cliff top. It is so windy here today, so windy. There's some beautiful waves though, but I'm just above the cormorant nest now. There's a few nests left, a few still ready to fledge, few chicks. So let's take our first look at them. So I've got my camera set up now, right on the edge, overlooking. You can see the nests down below, stunning. And in true Welsh style, it's now started to absolutely tip it down with rain. I can see out to sea, and it looks like it's going to rain like mad any minute. So I'm going to capture these images really quickly. The birds are absolutely storming. Quick tip on this, on the birds, because the birds are so black, just use your exposure adjustment. Just plus a third or plus 2/3 is what I'm finding spot on to really bring out the detail. I'm going to try and get some shelter very quickly, and then I'll be back. Hopefully there'll be some sun after this, I'm going to say rain shower, but it looks like it's covering the entire ocean at this point in time. So the rain has eased off a little bit now. It's still raining, but it's very, very wet. I can hardly see through my glasses. But I have put a quick cover on my camera just to really keep the lens and the camera dry. First time I've actually used it yet, and it's working remarkably well. I just hope it doesn't catch the wind too well. But the cormorants are playing ball. They're absolutely superb down there. I'll include them in a short gallery in a minute. I really need to start thinking about my titles of my images. I'm not one of the best, I don't think. If you get any suggestions for image titles, please feel free to let me know. You can see where they've been nesting and the chicks are pretty well, not far off the size of the adults at the moment. They're absolutely amazing. So they're trying to dry themselves out on the rocks at the moment. There's just one parent with the chicks that I can see. So the others must be out and about fishing right now. And in terms of camera settings, the settings that I'm using are auto ISO. I'm on manual. My default is 1/1600th of a second at f7.1. But as the birds are quite stationary, I'm dropping that down to about 1/500th. I've got it on a ball head on top of my tripod so that I can't see anything through my glasses at the moment because there's so much mist and rain. So I've got it on a tripod ball head so that I can react quickly. The problem with geared heads is great for landscape, but no good for wildlife. So auto ISO, I'm getting between about 500 ISO and about 2,500 because it's quite dull in this rain shower. No seals yet, but I'm going to keep my eye open as I make my way to the arch and try and dry out at least a little bit on the walk. Right, the wind's getting up again. Right, please enjoy this gallery of the nesting cormorants, and I am going to take a walk over to the arch. So on the way to the arch, just saw some oystercatchers just flying around, trying to get some in flight as well as roost. But one thing it really made me think about is quite often you see a lot of bird photographs and there's no real context to the birds. It's the same with the cormorants that we've just seen, which is seeing them in the nest, they're in context on the cliffs. What we've got here is oystercatchers flying around on the top, but it's important. What I've done is tried to catch some with them on the cliff top in the context of the sea behind. Because they're on a little promontory as well, I was able to circle around them. And because I was able to circle around them, I was able to get some with the cliffs behind the oystercatchers, some with the sea and the sky behind. So take a look at this short gallery and let me know what you think. I love the oystercatchers. They're so noisy. They're absolutely brilliant. And they're just, although they're black and white, their red beak is just so amazing to photograph. So please enjoy this gallery and then we'll get to the arch. And as we make our way across to the sea arch, I think sadly we're not going to see any seals today. The rocks that I've seen them on previously where they tend to bask are just swamped by the larger waves today. So no seals unfortunately, but I'll be back again. We're at the arch now, which you can see behind me. It's not very far from where the cormorants were nesting, and I saw the oystercatchers as well. Right, so let's get my lens changed. I'm going to put my 10-18 on for this, and we'll get some really nice wide angle seascapes of this. So you can see my camera mounted on the tripod overlooking the door. Absolutely beautiful scene. And it's extremely windy here. Thank goodness for spiked feet on the bottom of my tripod to keep it solid whilst I'm doing some long exposures. At the moment I'm trying some different ones. I am trying both normal shutter speed of about 1/80th of a second I was getting, but then it was extending up to 4 seconds with the ND filter, and with a stacked double ND filter it was getting up to 30 seconds, so I'll include those in the gallery. This is such an amazing place. Right, let's have a very quick look at the gallery of images that I've taken from the top. And what I'm going to do is head on down this little trail that hopefully leads to the bottom so we can get some different angles on this sea arch. composition about halfway down the path that runs kind of down the side of the cliff into the sea arch area where it's rocky down at the bottom. There's a lovely composition here. Let me spin you around and I'll just show you what I mean. So what we've got are these rocks in the foreground, and then we've got the cliff bounding the image on the right hand side. We've then got the sea arch, which will be approximately in the middle to the right. Then we've got the cliff line, which is beautiful. Then we've got the little bay that comes here running out to the sea, and then that gives us a line to the horizon, and we've got a beautiful peninsula. So I think I've got a couple of images there, and I'm starting to dry off at last, finally. Head on down the path, down to a little bit of a lower level so that we can hopefully get a view under the arch, because there's some lovely little breakwaters just the other side of the arch itself. Having just scrambled down these rocks, I'm now at the bottom, and we're in a position to now start to see the arch from the actual sea level. Now I'm down at the bottom. I've clambered over some of the rocks. It's absolutely amazing. It's so rocky. Some of them are slippy, some of them are so solid. It's unbelievable. Who knew? Right, so what I've got here is, and this is one of the perils, I guess, of being somewhere for the first ever time, is just getting to grips with it a little bit. So what I'm going for here is, there's the peninsula in the background under the arch. Now the important thing here is that I've got to make sure that the top of the arch doesn't intersect the peninsula horizon, so that we've got clear sky between the top of the arch and the land in the distance. And then I'm doing some long exposures to really smooth out the sea at this point in time. I think this is a scene that really cries out for long exposures. I'm also going to do quite a wide letterbox mode on this as well. This is my thinking for this, and it's just starting to rain again. This is my thinking for this. Let me get these photographs captured quickly before the rain really sets in. So I've just taken cover in this really small cave close to the arch, the sea arch. It started absolutely chucking it down with rain again, but just before the rain came in, some water pipits flew past, and I know that they're water pipits. I've got this superb app. If you want to know what the app is, it listens out for birds and then comes and just tells you what they are. Absolutely brilliant. It's not 100% accurate, but I'm going to say it's 99% accurate, because I'm no ornithologist, so I love this app for knowing which birds I'm looking at. Right, okay, so I'll stop waffling. I hope that you've enjoyed this short walk along the Anglesey coast. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and also check out these videos next. Thank you very much for your time in watching this video, and until next time, thank you and see you soon.